I can't believe that you came into my life. You made me feel again. Now it's my turn. You say you've always been a little bit shy, but I can put an end to your fears. Let me show you a place where you gon' wanna move your feet until they start to bleed. DJ, take it away. Tonight is all for you and me. So baby, spin and let the music begin. I know you feel it within.
Hey everybody, hi! Oh my gosh, welcome! I was not nervous until about 10 minutes ago. And then I said, oh, I should have this, I should have that. And I went, no, stop. This is your pals. You don't need bells and whistles and all that stuff. But I do like that music with that song, with that opening. And people are here, and I am so glad. And first off, Gail! Oh my gosh, Gail! Gail Duke, literally from day one. Gail was with me on this. And Janice is here too. I gotta go back and look at this. I gotta pull this comment bar in front of me and see what everybody's doing. Janice, oh my gosh. So Gail is here. Gail Duke, yay. I'm so glad you're here. Larry's here. And Anthony with grayscale painting. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. This is just fun. And Angie's here. Larry and Angie, aren't you loving our weather today? Whew, this is so nice. Susan. Okay, Susan, I took it into Topaz. Sharpen, and I got it considerably less blurry. It's still up to you. It's not perfect yet, but and I kind of know how you are. So just let me know in the comments, yes, no, big no, or okay. Anyway, yay. See who else is here. Julia Lee is here. Yay. I'm nervous. I couldn't even spell nervous right. And Fatima is here. Yay, Fatima, how are you? She's back. Ramadan was over. Oh, Fatima, I was going to send you my friend Art Wolf and my photographer. He was in India for the last week of Ramadan and did some beautiful, he's doing a book called Acts of Faith on different kinds of faith throughout the world. And so he was there, and it was really, he's got some really pretty images. Yes, so there's Larry. And then I saw Janice is here. Yay. And everybody's saying hi to each other. And I think I saw Alexandra here. Alexandra, for everybody, is the founder and my friend of Creative Work Hour that I do really early in the morning. She's also an amazing designer and does this stuff, a lot of stuff we do on Hive together, but she is the founder of Creative Work Hour. That is a whole nother group of people that do some things, and they probably just had movie night just before this, and I didn't make it because I just didn't. Oh, and Shelly Anderson Art. Shelly, hi, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Oh my goodness. Yeah, and Greg Shaw there, kindness creator all the way through. He did an entire month of on kindness posts on Hive, and he's got a whole thing about that. Greg's Cloud. He's amazing. He's also another friend from Creative Work Hour coming over. And let's see, there's Alexandra. I'm a star. Welcome home, Alexandra. I want to hear all about how Leeds was. She spent a month in Leeds, England, doing some steady work, and I think she's going to be going back. And there's just Janice. Holy Ned, look at this crew. Lupe's here. Oh, well, oh my goodness. Everybody's saying hi to each other, and that is wonderful. This is bucket fillers. I tell you, I am just brimming. This is really kind of hard to believe that in November of 2021, I started this little thing. And oh gosh, I did a Alita and live every day in August, and then that was with live streaming pros, and I kind of got into that, and but I was still using my phone, I was doing things, and then I had, and then I met Doc and Paul Duncan and Paul, my the Mr. Moderator and whatnot, and he encouraged me to get started, and that started me on that year-long journey of doing the live storytelling, and that was something else. I'm sorry that Linda can't be here tonight. Um, so Larry, you got the wrench, I think. Maybe Tamara does too, I think maybe. But so Linda is in the process of moving, and this was just happened to be the same thing. This is a big day all the way around, and this is also Rory's third birthday. And in fashion that only my family could put together, my daughters really actually, Rory's having a dinosaur pink lava volcano birthday party. Yeah, her dad made her a giant volcano, like literally the thing's probably 4 feet across and 3 feet high. And Bryn spent all day making pink Play-Doh and a few other colors yesterday and the day before. Tons of Play-Doh. And then putting all together this stuff to get the perfect pink that Rory wanted to the baking soda and vinegar, just mixing it up just so right so that they could culminate her birthday party with a volcano explosion after they had made dinosaurs all over to put them on the volcano and all this stuff. So yeah, that's what's going on down in Eugene today. Amazing kind of day. Oh my goodness. Ah, yay. Squirrel party, yes. So if you saw, it had squirrels, because we're always squirreling and I'm always going off. And that's something I do with creative work art too. Rabbit holes, because we go down a rabbit hole here and there. And then of course some story and art, and and cats and costumes. That should be a clue as to who is coming to the party, probably going to open the party when we get to story time. But that's a revisit. Really, yeah. I just it just craziness today. It's just us, Susan. Yeah, thank you. It's just us. No nerves. Yay, the bucket brigade. And Devin is here, Alessandra's other half. Devin, the amazing musician and songwriter, and oh my gosh, just the talented people here in this group. Artists. And there's Mr. Paul Duncan there. You know, you guys, if it's really falls apart, all this kind of stuff, it's all Paul's fault. No. No, Paul has been there since day one, gently encouraging me, gently calling me on when I do silly things, and working me through the whole the navigating and how to get this to do this and how to do live streaming and all that. My ECamm fam really stepped up with that, and Paul is a big part of that. And but he was a big part of this whole journey starting. Yeah, he kind of, I would say if I was standing on the edge of a cliff getting ready to do something like this, it was Paul who just gave me that last shove and said, go, you can fly. Yeah, fortunately, there were some parachutes involved. But all the OGs, exactly. Robert, oh my gosh, thank you. Oh, guys, so good to have you guys here. This is crazy. This is just crazy to see everybody here. Wow. My girlfriend Barb, who lives on Whidbey Island. Oh, Helen, I don't think Helen's going to make it. Called me today, and we're getting together this week. And she is the original book lady, and she and I got our very first teaching jobs together years and years ago, years and years ago. and I was telling her about that the addition of your art, and she was like, oh, I didn't know you added that into your show. Her husband is a magician and is doing a big show someplace in the Kitsap Peninsula, and so we're going to meet up later on, but this week. But so yeah, we were talking, and yeah, she reminded me. So those of you who's I've read the books to and whatnot, yesterday we lost in the children's book community in Illustrated, we lost Faith Ringgold. She died at 93. She was the author of Tar Beach, the one about the kids in New York or in Harlem that their families on the hot days would set up. That was their beach on the roof, and they would set up, have parties and music and everything like that. She is that author, and she was famous for her quilt-like work in her illustrations. And so that was just, we were talking about all the wonderful books, and Barb's much better at remembering people's names than I ever was. But oh my gosh, are you kidding, Alessandra? What? You did what? You designed a Converse shoe collection? For the fine, we're at Heisba party in Hamburg next week. Oh my gosh, you've got to be kidding. That's going to be crazy. Yeah, Paul says he takes the blame. That's awesome. Remembered. Ah, yay. Well, oh my gosh. I mean, in that, in the 500, okay, the first 367 days that I did in a row, yes, I did 367 shows in a row. About 75% of them were live. The 25% were not. I did premieres. I had them booked, scheduled ahead of time. I did it while I was in Africa, when I went to Oaxaca, when I was at People of Video, all of those different type of things. And when I had to be gone, always had them there. And then took a break and went, whew, that was it. Don't want to burn myself out. I went to twice a week. And it's been really good to have this twice a week, Sunday night. And Sunday we incorporated the story show and tell along with stories. And then on Thursday night is flat out story time. And it's pretty awesome. I know, Lupe, I want to see it too. She's not gonna tell me. So, but there have been some favorite things along the way and favorite books along the way. And the all-time favorite is Skippy John, and he's come back tonight to do. And then I didn't grab The Dragons Are Singing tonight. I didn't do that, but I got another books that I have here in the house, and I couldn't find them on Libby to share that way with you, so you'll have to put up with my overhead. But first off, the artwork that was sent in tonight. And I'm kind of, I'm afraid I'm kind of doing, let's see, what am I going to do? Trying not to do, I'm trying not to squirrel. Yeah, I'm trying not to squirrel. I went through my old books, my old sketchbooks, and we'll get to you guys' and everybody's art, but when I started this journey, I didn't even own a sketchbook. I didn't. I was a photographer. That was it. I had a camera. I didn't know how to do the other stuff. But I started kind of showing some of the kind of crazy art that I did with my kids at school when I was a teacher, and how it translated to some of the children's literature art and whatnot. And then we started seeing what you guys were doing. And so literally I have so many sketchbooks now. So when I get to sharing my art time in just a second, I'll show you some of the progress and what we've done and what I never thought I would ever do. Maybe they came along, maybe not. Oh, no, they're still sitting over there. That's okay. But anyway, so we're going to start out with the first section of tonight's. And I just want to say welcome, everybody. Thank you so much. Squirrel. for coming tonight, for being there. Uh, look like a fun guy, Devin. Oh no, Devin. Oh, you guys, this Devin is makes it kind of like it's. I think it's a new purpose that he has to create a Gretchen Groner in his jokes, and it comes along of like how much of a joke can he do to make me groan, and it's just it's just he hit the mark already. I'm gonna damn it. I love it though. All right, so let's get started with people's art and this. And we're going to start with Larry. Okay, so, Larry started his watercolor journey really along this path too. He did that amazing picture of the Prince of Botswana for me. One of my photographs of warthogs in Botswana, and he translated it into a beautiful watercolor. And it sits in the music room right now. It's framed, and in the music room, it's the Prince of Botswana. But this is one of Larry's latest one. It's the Columbia River Gorge in watercolor. That's he's got more underneath this. Well done, Larry. It's just Multnomah Fall. For those of you who are not here around, Tamara is in Australia, so she's not going to know where this. And a lot of other people are not from the Northwest. This is Multnomah Falls on the Columbia River Gorge. It's about maybe 40-minute drive from Portland, and it is a very popular spot to visit. And that bridge that you cross is way up there to go, and then the falls is way up there up above. It's quite a beautiful spot in there. Well done, Larry. Let's see. And then he has, okay, I got to pull these over too because he sent me some other stuff to go with it. The rest is BMW Graphics Homegrown, and he just sent me another email he says better graphics. So let me pull those over. And Paul, did you see me do that? Isn't that cool? Let's see. Did I get the right one? Oh, no, wrong one. Make sure I erase the right. There it is. So he's added some graphics to his motorcycle on his own. Very cool. Now, Larry, you made those decals. I'm sure. I know you do a lot of stuff in. Did you paint on? Are they decals or paint? That's my question. And because I know you do 3D printing of stuff for pouring and things like that. You and Brian do, right? Yeah. And then there should be another one coming up here. And then it's got one more right here. There we go. Those are very cool. Yeah, Fatima wants to know too. Are they vinyl or is it stickers or is it painted? Devin has motorcycle envy. Yeah, Devin, you're in Spokane. It's a good motorcycle place. Larry's just right here across the bay in Tacoma. But you're in Eastern Washington there. Good old motorcycle land. Silhouette Cameo Vinyl Cutter, he says. Right there. Okay. Nice. Very cool. Larry, thank you. That's awesome. Next we have Angie. So Angie has a few things. That's a text box. Hey, there's Lala. Oh my gosh. You guys say hi to Lala. She's in the Philippines. Mommy Guide Inc. So this is Angie's, and there's a couple of them of this. And she's got two pictures. She complained that she said she's not the photographer for doing this. And she didn't tell me in the email what it was that, how she did it. See, this one's a little more. But look at those strokes on that. It almost has a peacock feather aspect to it. But it's a tree. It's like a peacock tree. Very cool. I love that. And then there's this one that she had. Let me make that one bigger if I can. This was, let's see, her email says, there. The jellyfish is a 10 by 20 canvas made with stencils on a pour that her brother Brian did when he was here last summer, when Brian was here. The cactus, the cactus is a 16 by 20 canvas, is a chain pull that you did over the top of a painting I did not like, that you didn't like. I just finished these yesterday with a clear coat spray. So the jellyfish is stencils over a pour that Brian had done. And then the other one, this one, oops, there. I'll close that one out. This one is a cactus. That's what it is. Very cool. Nice. Very nice, Angie. Yeah, that jellyfish is amazing. I love the colors in this one right here with the cactus. It's just, it really does remind me of sunsets when I'm down there in Phoenix and stuff. Beautiful piece. The colors are beautiful. Absolutely. Now, Susan, I got yours cleaned up, so is it okay if I show it? It's still not perfect, but it's much better than it was. I took it into Topaz Sharpen AI, and they did their little AI stuff. Let's see, she stenciled the shape, but hand painted everything. I love that. Yeah. Go for it, Susan says go for it. Yay! Thank you. All right, so then we'll go to Susan. Okay, here it is. So Susan's, for some reason, when Susan tries to send me things from her iPad, it doesn't send a very large copy of the image. It sends like the smallest available. It always turns out really kind of blurry. Very frustrating for her. So I tried to take it into Topaz Sharpen, and I got it sharper. I could have done a photo hands. The OG bookend paper. Oh, of OG bookend paper, yeah. Oh, cool, yeah. And this one is Susan's from SJ Color, pour that she did. And Susan said in her email, hey, okay, here you go. A few things. This is a box top painted only, and this is the orientation of it. And once resin is applied, it'll resemble the whole box. And she said she'll reassemble the whole box and send a photo for the team to view. Yeah, okay. Cool. I love this. Of course, these colors are just so nice. They the way they go, and they set off. That kind of teal is one of my favorite colors, teal green, and it goes between like a floral and almost a seaweed kind of thing. It kind of depends on which way you want to look at it. Well done, Susan. Yay! Okay. So Tamara, I don't know why okay, why she does this to me. This is the little Tamara's gonna try to make me cry. She did this one for the 500th show, and it's based on her childhood memories of the books I would get for birthdays and Christmas. Finding the hidden within, that is why my art has hidden treasures within to find. It's stuck with me. It keeps the beholder locked into the art, I hope, and stimulates the imagination. So I'm going to hide the what she had to say, and this is the first one. This is absolutely amazing. I wish I knew the book that this went when we were talking about that. You were trying to think of what book it could possibly be, and I couldn't find it. I did I grab? I did grab Wombat Stew because I was just thinking of you. Thought, oh man, we'll have to do Wombat Stew. But yeah, look at this. Is that little thing, the little guy? Is that what they call a patty melon? Is that what that little animal is? I know it's a painted gecko up above on its back, but is that a patty melon? Because I watch another YouTube guy, Max and Aki, that has patty melons running all over his yard. And that's kind of what, it's not like I know what I'm talking about. I'm just making a wild guess here. Where are my comments? Oh, there they are. They disappeared. They need to go back over here. There we go. Patty melon. Maybe? Is it? I don't know. There we go. I moved my comment window and then it disappeared on me. Yay. Yes, it's a patty. Yay! I know. They're both expressive. How do you do that? So those of you who are new tonight, who don't come regularly, Tamara is an artist in Australia and has been for quite some time. She's extremely talented and does beautiful abstracts and tends to blow us away every time we have show and tell. And we're all trying to get her to have an exhibit of her own. So it's one of those wonderful things though. Where's the text I had? Here. Okay. Bring that back up. And then we will go from there to the next one. Oh, and I'll get rid of the text. But it says, okay, this one she told me, pull up the email, where there it was. Shit, where did it go? She said, I'm sorry, camera, there it is. There it is. She says, this one is Portals of Imagination, is acrylic on canvas, no collage in any of these pieces for a change. The friendships, I think, is the first one. Okay, so the first one we saw, that first one we saw is called Friendships. That's Friendships. All right. This one is Portals of the Imagination. And this is the mirrored version. So she mirrors, what she'll do is she'll do an image like this is, okay, I'll take this one down. Here's the original. Like the main one, I believe. Yes, Portals of the Imagination. Would help if I put them in the right order. And so Tamara will take this, for those of you, Alexander and Devin and Paul and everybody else who haven't seen her work, she'll take that and from there she'll mirror them and get this, something like that. And then she might mirror it again and get something completely different. And what you see, yes, I know, Anthony, such amazingly talented people here. such amazing talent. And so when she flips them, it's and sometimes it's the close up of certain parts that she's done. The last few weeks she's done these close up parts of them. It's just absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. I'm just blown away. She said the other Friendships is a watercolor on sheet canvas. She did that piece today or yesterday's her Sunday. And Portals of Imagination is acrylic on canvas, no collage in any of these pieces for a change. She's great for a collage. I'm doing a collage class in a couple weeks. That would be kind of crazy. Oh, I have a whole pile of photographs that were out in the shed and they're kind of curling. Oops, squirrel again. And so I'm going to take those to collage class. And she said a really message. She says, I'm so pleased to, Tamara says, she says, I'm so pleased to have you in my life, Gretchen. You're a special soul. Thank you, Tamara, very much. Thank you for all you do. Storytime has never been as awesome as it is when you do your stuff. You make the magic in Storytime come to life at the age of almost 65. Tamara, you're a baby. You have filled that space. Just fill the space you never had. That's just so awesome. Thank you so much, Tamara. Yeah, Fatima, I'm caught up in it too. See, it's those hidden things, she says, hidden in what she says, the hidden treasures to find within. And there's always Larry's got, I love this in an instant. I wonder if I go, let's see. Okay, let me do something here. See, I'll do this one, and I'll make one a little smaller. See if I can bring them down side by side so we can have one above the other. And, let's see. Flip it up like this. There we go. So you can see them there. So you can see how the difference that she does in them a little bit there. I tried to make it so you could see both of them by just flipping them. What you get, like this bottom when you get that face in the center. It's so amazing. Oh, wow. So amazing. I hit the air horn rather than the applause. Sorry. All right, so Tamara told me, asked me if I'd done my homework, and I haven't. Really, I didn't do homework. But I have to show you guys. I had to show you a little bit of chaos. I called it chaos and primary chaos. I was playing around with watercolor ink and drawing and doing my neurographic stuff. And that was just kind of fun to see what watercolor ink would do. And then I was also doing just plain ink blocks and then trying to make crazy animals. And I ended up with a camel and a beaver and a sort of a bear, but he's got a weird tail. I think it's more like a little dog that's kind of puffed up thinking it's something. I was playing. This actually, oh, you guys can kind of see it better. It turned out it's supposed to be a dragonfly with some flowers, and then I'm going to do some embellishments. I think it might go to collage class with me. But so I just was laughing at all the things that have happened in over the years. I mean, how since I've started doing this, of all the different, you know, I pulled out a sketchbook and just the things that I've sketched, all the whole time I did the whole thing with, oh, you can hardly see it. There we go. Turn them there. The whole thing with gnomes. Remember the whole gnomes bit? I did the 12 Days of Christmas all in gnomes, but that was this year. But then last year I'd done a whole bunch of them, and then Layla did all those crazy things with us, and I was doing with Lachlan. And Christmas time always gets to be a time where we do things. But I pulled these out, not because they're really worth looking at or anything like that, but because because before doing this, like I said, I didn't even own a sketchbook. I'll go back to my squirrels. I didn't own a sketchbook. I was convinced I couldn't draw, that the only artistic talent I had was through my photography, through being able to see in black and white, and other than my storytelling, and that I really didn't have, it wasn't anything, because my sisters could all do it. But it really taught me, working with you guys and doing this and seeing all your stuff, that it's just practice. It's like anything else. It's just practice. Yes, I might not get to the level of some people at all. And do I want to? No. Is that the purpose of this? No. The purpose of this channel has never been to be one that got so many subscribers and made it monetized. And that's not the purpose of this. The purpose of this has always been just to be sharing something that I love and sharing something that I think is cool and helping myself grow and maybe other people. And we've gone through so many books. Like, it's not just 500 books. It's well over 1,000 books, because each night I've read at least 2 books, usually, sometimes 3, and it averages out. So there's been so many, and the stack of books I have in there on different artists and different people, and what I've learned about the artwork and the folk art and the different type of people, and the history of that we've had of people that we learn about that are not taught in our history books at all. And that, remember the book, That Book Woman, about in the 30s in Kentucky, the program that had women taking library books to the kids that live so far away. I have another book. It's a new one for tonight, that I'm going to read about that, by Jane Yolen. And she's done 414 books. And there's just so much. But I wanted to say that it's just been really so much of an enrichment for me, to keep me going, to keep things doing, to learn all about that. And it's just been really, oh, there goes my hands. All you're seeing is my hand. I forget to look where I am. It's really just been this amazing journey of sharing. And I've learned that you can share things that you really are passionate about, and there'll be people out there who like it too, like you guys. And then you can find different ways that it fits in, and that there are books out there that people think are just for kids, and they're not. They're not just for kids. But and I'm gonna, I've got these books. So these are some older books that I read to you guys. And I don't know if some of you were here at the time. You might remember early on, Ultraviolet Catastrophe, or The Unexpected Walk with Great Uncle Magnus Pringle. This story is by Margaret Mahy, and the pictures are by Brian Froud, the Muppets, and Dark Crystal, and all of those. Brian Froud. He's done amazing books on fairies and whatnot. Margaret Mahy is the one who wrote the book about 17 kings and 42 elephants. Remember that one? 17 kings and 42 elephants went for a ride on a wild, wet night. Baggy ears and big umbrella-phants, riding through the jungle like starry light. Yeah, I can kind of remember. So this is a fun one, and I always thought about reading that one to you guys. But it's a longer one, but it has such great pictures. I think we'll have to come back to that one another night. And then there's, of course, Wombat Stew by Marcia Vaughn, which I know, is a favorite. And then Parts And I'm sure you remember Parts by Ted Arnold. The one about, the child that, um, this is very short. Parts. I just don't know what's going on or why it has to be. But every day, it's something worse. What's happening to me? I think it was 3 days ago I first became aware that in my comb were caught a couple pieces of my hair. I stared at them, amazed and more than just a little bit appalled, to think that I was only 5 and I was already going bald. Then later on, I don't recall exactly when it was, I lifted up my shirt and found this little bit of fuzz. I stared at it, amazed, and wondered, what's this all about? But then I understood. It was my stuffing coming out. Next day, when I was outside playing with the water hose, I saw that little bits of skin were peeling off my toes. I stared at them amazed, and then I gave a little groan to think that pretty soon I might be peeled down to the bone. Then yesterday, before my bath, as I took off my clothes, a chunk of something gray and wet fell right out of my nose. I stared at it, amazed, and thought, I should be feeling pain. Well, wouldn't you if you just lost a little piece of brain? So now, today, I'm sitting here enjoying Dr. Seuss, and suddenly I realize a tooth is coming loose. I wiggle it amazed, dismayed, too horrified to speak. Without my teeth, how can I eat? Already, I feel weak. Now I'm really worried. I'm as scared as I can be, because finally what's happening is very clear to see. The glue that holds our parts together isn't holding me. And now I'm thinking to myself, what's next in line to go? Might be my ears, might be my eyeballs. How's a kid to know? One day, I might be playing ball and have my arm fall off. Or maybe I could lose my head if suddenly I cough. Quite soon I'll be in pieces, in a pile without a shape. Thank goodness Dad keeps lots and lots and lots of masking tape. What? You forgot to tell me teeth fall out? And when they do, some brand new teeth will soon begin to sprout? My hair, my skin, and everything, there's nothing I should fear? So all of me is normal? Phew! That's really good to hear. Then tell me, what's this yellow stuff I got out of my ear? Parts. Ted Arnold. This was one of my favorites to always read to the kids at school. They roared and roared and roared. But then there's Wombat Stew. There's Wombat Stew. Duck teeth and baling wire. And it continues through your life. Everything's falling out. Yes, everything's falling out. Continues on. Now, Wombat Stew. Okay, I need my voices. I'm warming up. The vocals here with Parts. Because Wombat Stew, this book I've had since, well, let's see. I believe it's Annalina's. To Gretchen, my chewy, gooey, crunchy, munchy friend, Marcia Vaughn. I got this in 1992. Annalina would have been 8 years old. 10. 10 years old. And She decided it was hers. It's illustrated by Pamela Lofts, but it is, again, a really, really fun one. The illustrations on this one, let's see, did they say what these were done in? It was first published in Melbourne. It doesn't say what they're done in, but they look very much watercolor-like and colored pencil, actually. It has that combination of looking like it's done in watercolor and colored pencil. You see the eyes up here and the things all around. So, are we ready? Are you guys ready? Guess I gotta get, here we go, to Wombat Stew by Marcia K. Vaughan. One day, on the banks of a billabong, a very clever dingo caught a wombat and decided to make wombat stew, gooey, brewy, yummy, chewy wombat stew. Now, Platypus came ambling up the bank. "Good day, Dingo," he said, snapping his bill. "What's all that water for?" "I'm brewing a gooey, chewy stew with a fat wombat," replied Dingo with a toothy grin. "If you ask me," said Platypus, "the best thing for gooey stew is mud. Big blops of billabong mud." "Blops of mud?" Dingo laughed. "What a good idea! Right-o, in they go." So Platypus scooped up big blops of mud with his tail and tipped them into the billy can. Around the bubbling billy, Dingo danced and sang, wombat stew, gooey, brewy, yummy, chewy, wombat stew. Now, waltzing up from the shade of the ironbarks came Emu. She arched her graceful neck over the brew. "Oh-ho, Dingo," she fluttered. "What have we here?" "Gooey, chewy wombat stew." "Oh, if only it were a bit more chewy," she sighed. "But don't worry, a few feathers will set it right." "Feathers?" Dingo smiled. "That would be chewy, right-o, in they go." So into the gooey brew, Emu dropped her finest feathers. Around and around the bubbling billy, Dingo danced and sang, wombat stew, crunchy munchy for my lunchy wombat stew. Now, old Blue Tongue the lizard came sliding off his sun-soaked stone. "Silly Dingo," he hissed. "There are no flies in this stew. Can't be wombat stew without crunchy flies in it." And he stuck out his bright blue tongue. "There's a lot to be said for flies," agreed Dingo, rubbing his paws together. "Right-o, in they go." So Lizard snapped 100 flies from the air with his long tongue and flipped them into the gooey, chewy stew. And around the bubbling billy, Dingo danced and sang, wombat stew, crunchy munchy for my lunchy wombat stew. Oof. And up through the red dust popped Echidna. "Wait a bit, not so fast," he bristled, shaking the red dust from his quills. "Now, I've been listening to all this advice, and take it from me, for a crunchy munchy stew, you need slugs and bugs and creepy crawlies." And Dingo wagged his tail. "Why, I should have thought of that. Right-o, in they go." So Echidna dug up all sorts of creepy crawlies and dropped them into the gooey, chewy, crunchy stew. And the very clever Dingo stirred and stirred, all the while singing, wombat stew, hot and spicy, oh so nicey, wombat stew. And just then the sleepy-eyed koala climbed down the scribbly gum tree. Oh, look here, he yawned. Any bush cook knows you can't make spicy stew without gum nuts. Leave it to Koala to think of gum nuts, Dingo laughed and licked his whiskers. Right-o, in they go. Into the gooey, chewy, crunchy-munchy stew, Koala shook lots and lots of gum nuts. Aha, cried Dingo. Now my stew is missing only one thing. What's that? Asked the animals. That wombat. Wait! Stop! Hang on, Dingo. You can't put that wombat into the stew yet. Why not? You haven't tasted it. Righto, I'll taste it. And that very clever Dingo bent over the billy and took a great big slurp of stew. Ow! I'm poisoned, he howled. You've tricked me. And he dashed away deep into the bush, never again to sing. Wombat stew, gooey, brewy, yummy, chewy, wombat stew. I have no idea if I got the notes right on that. Wait, I think I'd read it through the first time before I even knew that there was a song on the back. And I made it up as I went. So that's wombat stew. Oh my goodness. I have to pull this up for... There we go. All right. So there you go. Tamara and Lala down there and everybody else. Wombat stew, one of our very favorite old times that we had. Floating library bookshelf was here for a while, Gretchen. They did have a nice collection of children's books. Oh my gosh. Whoa, that's awesome. The floating library. I haven't found a book about that yet, Lala. I'm going to have to. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm not going to keep you guys here all night for anything, but I'm going to finish with one book. I'm going to say the librarian book about that Jane Yolen did about the book, the program on the horseback librarian, simply because it's one of those that deserves its own discussion, and bringing up about how back even in the 30s, people made such an effort to get books into the hands, and it's a real argument against banning books, which will get me on a soapbox right off bat. So we're not doing soapbox tonight. We're having a fun celebration, and so the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to go back to probably the most requested book that I've ever done, not only from you guys, but by students. Besides Mean Old Mean Hyena that my kids' students used to love when I was wanting to do something villainous, or Boom the Thunder Dragon by Jack Prelutsky. But this is the favorite from the Bucket Fillers, and it is a favorite of mine to read. It is a book called, let's see if I can get that right, if it's going to show up. There it did. Skippy John Jones. And it is by Judy Schochner. And so Judy wrote this book based on a cat that she had. Why do I have two of those? Huh. And Skippy was a real cat and was quite the little thing. Skippy was the grandchild of a cat called Granny Ma'am, which is another book that she had written. But Skippy is quite the character, and he comes with a whole lot of fun things, and just a character and a way of getting into trouble, and some fun little characters. He's managed to make the banned book list in a couple of places. Yes, you guys can all go, what? But he is still one of our favorites. And so, in honor of that, for my last book tonight, I'm going to read Skippy John Jones for our celebration of our 500th show. Your favorites, and one of the most requested one back. And I hope you guys like this. I'm just Koala Wombat walking. Oh no. Devin's trying to make a joke. A koala, a wombat, and an emu walk into a pub. Oh my gosh, another one of those ones. And it will be so. I know. I talked to her the other day, Linda, but that she did. So here we go. Ready to do this. Skippy John Jones by Judy Schochner. Every morning, Skippy John Jones woke up with the birds. And this did not please his mother at all. Get yourself down here right now, Mr. Kitten Britches, ordered Mama Junebug Jones. No self-respecting cat ever slept with a flock of birds, she scolded, or ate worms, or flew, or did his laundry in Mrs. Doohiggy's bird bath. The lecture went on and on as usual. You got some serious thinking to do before you leave this room, Mr. Fuzzy Pants, said his mother, about just what it means to be a cat, not a bird, not a mouse or a grouse, not a moose or a goose, not a rat or a bat. You need to think about what it means to be a Siamese cat. And stay out of your closet, she added, closing the bedroom door. But once he was alone, Skippy John Jones began to bounce and bounce and bounce on his big boy bed. Oh, I'm Skippy John Jones and I bounce on my bed, and once 6 times I land on my head. Whoa, and on the way down to earth from a gigantic big bounce, Skippy John shot past his bedroom mirror. Holy guacamole! Exclaimed Skippy John Jones. What was that? So up he went again, and again it appeared. Then, using his very best Spanish accent, he said, My ears are too big for my head. My head is too big for my body. I am not a Siamese cat. I am a Chihuahua. And back on land, Skippy John Jones climbed into his toy box and rifled through some of his old junk. And after he put on his mask and his sword and climbed onto his mouse, Skippy John began to sing in a muy soft voice. Oh, my name is Skippito Frisquito. I fear not a single bandito. My manners are mellow. I sweet like the jello. I get the job done, yes, indeedo. Back in the kitchen, Mama Jujubee, Jezebel, and Jillyboo Jones were helping Mama Junebug Jones make lunch. Can Skippy John come out of his room now? Asked Jujubee. No, answered Mama Junebug. Mr. Fluffernutter is still thinking. In fact, Skippy John wasn't thinking about being a Siamese cat at all. With a walk into his closet, his thoughts took him down a lonesome desert road far, far away in old Mexico. Not long into his journey, a mysterioso band of Chihuahuas appeared out of the dust. Ay, caramba, who goes there? Asked Skippy John Jones. We go by the name of Los Chimichongos, growled Don Diego, the biggest of the small ones. Who are you? I am El Skipito, the great sword fighter, said Skippy John Jones. Then the smallest of the small ones spoke up. Why the mosquito, dude? Asked Poquito Tito. I go incognito, said Skipito. Do you like rice and beans? Asked Pintolito. Si, I love mice and beans, said Skipito. Oh, he might be the dog of our dreams, whispered Rosalita. Perhaps, said Tia Mia, if he knows the secret password. Leaning toward Don Diego, El Skipito half sneezed, half spoke the secret password into the Chihuahua's very large ear. Achu Pichu! Bless you, said Don Diego. Gracias, said Skipito. Then it is true, declared Don Diego. Yip, yippee, yippito, it's the end of Alfredo Bozito. Skipito is here, we have nothing to fear. Adios to the bad Bumblebito. Then all the chimichangos went crazy loco. First, they had a fiesta. Then they took a siesta. Oh, sorry. But after waking up, the chimichangos got down to serious business. Using his paw, Don Diego drew a picture in the sand of the great Bumblebito for Skipito to see. A hush grew over the chimichangos so great that one could hear a whisker drop. Alfredo Bozito, whispered the crowd. El blimpo Bumblebito bandito. See, said Poquito Tito, the bandito steals our frijoles. Not your beans, cried Skipito, outraged. See, Poquito continued, red beans, black beans, Boston bacon blue, cocoa, coffee, kidney beans, pinto and jelly too. And now he comes for us, Poquito added. ¿Por qué? asked Skipito. Because we are full of beans too. Then Don Diego stood tall and in his most somber voice declared, Yo quiero frijoles. Huh? asked Skipito. The dude just wants his beans back, said Poquito Tito. And you are the dog for the job. Me? said Skipito. Then all the chimichangos turned towards Skipito, the great sword fighter. But poor Skipito had no time for a plan, because in the blink of an eye, a gigantic shadow darkened the landscape. The chimichangos scattered in all directions. Vamos, Skipito, or it is you, the bandito bolito, they cried. Skipito stood his ground, but his legs shimmied and shook like the jello, and his teeth chattered like the castanets. Then, in a muy, muy soft voice, he said, My name is Skipito Frisquito. I fear not a single bandito. But Alfredo Bozito flew straight for Skipito until the bean-eating bandito hovered only inches away from the great sword fighter's face. Ole frijoles, cried Skipito as he thrust his sword into the air. Suddenly, pop! went the bandito, landing on Skipito's sword, and quicker than you can say Chihuahua's cheese and crackers. Every kind of bean came spilling out of Alfredo Bozito, the Bumblebito bandito. Oh. Then all the doggies burst into song. Yip, yippee, yippito, our hero is El Skipito. He's the dog of our dreams who delivered the beans, and now we can make our burritos. But back at home, there was such a ruckus coming from Skippy John's room that Mama Junebug Jones and the girls just had to find out what was going on. They raced down the hall into the kitty boy's room. Bangito, Crashito, Papito, Skipito! Just in time to see Skippy John's closet exploding. Then out flew Candy, beanbag doggies, and the kitty boy with his birthday piñata on his head. Skippy John Jones! Everyone cried. Hola, muchachitas, he said in a muy, muy soft voice. Mama Junebug Jones lifted up Skippy John and covered his head with furry, purry kisses. What am I going to do with you, Mr. Cocoa Pugs? She scolded. That night, when he was supposed to be going to sleep, Skippy John began to bounce and bounce on his big boy bed. Oh, I'm Skippy John Jones with a mind of my own, and I bounce on my bed for hours. I know I'm a cat, but forget about that. Say good night, Skippy John Jones, called his mama. Buenas noches, mis amigos, said Skippy John Jones. And that's Skippy. And that's Skippy. Yeah. What do you think of Skippy John? You know, he goes on to so many. For those of you who don't know Skippy John, he has Skippy John Lost in Spice in his visit to the Red Planet. He goes to school. He has in the doghouse. He in Mummy Trouble, in going to Old Egyptito. Yes, all kinds of things that happen with him there. All those. Sound the applause, she says, Alessandra. I'm glad you like it. Uh, Frijoles are not free. Oh, every one of ours thought they were dogs. Your Siamese cats. And Skippy John is just, it got to be, that was a book that what I did, that I had each part of it, a different grade level would learn. And like the kindergartners could learn, Skippy John Jones and I bounce on my bed, and once or six times I'll land on my head. And then, oh, my name is Skipito Fresquito, and if you're not a single bandito, my manners are mellow. So the first graders would get that. And then up in like the third graders got, there's one from another book that goes, I think it's in the doghouse, that there's a part of it that goes, muchas gracias, chimichimichango, bye babalito, boogie woogie tango, muchos puchos, slicky sticky mango, gozo, bozo, chimichimichango. One more time, muchas gracias, chimichimichango, bye babalito, boogie woogie tango. So I would have the third and fourth graders learn that. So there were parts of it that they got to memorize over and over. And I got them doing poetry and memorizing things without even knowing that they were doing it. It was kind of fun. And I read it so often that like kids could be walking into the library, and if I was reading it to another class and they knew what part of it was, they would join in with it. It got to be really quite fun. I read it in front of the whole school one time, at a big assembly, and a reading assembly. And when it came to that part, and I'm Skippy John Jones, the kindergartners all got to do that part, and they all did it with me, and it was great fun. Anyway, great fun. That's I just finished Skippy John. There's a Bob heard. It's a rare Bob sighting, you guys. He's right over there. Oh, he didn't show on camera. That would have been something. That would have been a treat. So everybody, that is bringing the 500th show to a close. It is hard to believe that I've been doing this for this long and so much, but there's so much. I've got the logbook to keep it. I've kept track of what every book I've read on each time, and I have a couple logbooks full of it. And I'm kind of behind a couple lines, but I'll catch them up. But for tonight, I have to just say thank you all so much for showing up, for being here, for supporting me on this journey, for being part of this, for sharing your artwork, and for encouraging me in my journey in that little part of me, and for just continuing to grow in your own creativity and to appreciate these books. There can never be enough books out there for kids and for us to find the beauty that there is in picture books and the artwork, and to open that field up for so many people and to see what it does, and for you guys to share your artwork with me and to trust me to share it with this group of people, to get it out there, for us to see and to share. It's pretty amazing. Bucket fillers all the way. Have you filled a bucket today? That's kind of our motto book within this. Besides Skippy Jump, there's a book called Have You Filled Your Bucket Today? And it's about how you fill your own bucket by filling others, and what we do. And that you guys are definitely part of what keeps me going, and the bucket filling. And it's just been an honor and a delight. I've gotten to meet so many people through this. I feel like I just feel really blessed, and I can't thank you enough. So here we go. Onward and upward with this. In the second half of this 500, we'll keep going. I'll be back on Thursday with some more stories. I'll do the horseback librarian on Thursday, and I think I'll pull up a book of Faith Ringgold's too for that. And then there's a couple others that I have of some the biographies of some really amazing people. But so come back and join us on Thursday if you want. If you are new here, thank you. Here's to the next 500. Thank you, Paul, so much for all the encouragement and everything like that. So everybody, as always, it's been a delight. Starting our week off with me. I feel really honored that you've been here and that you got to share in this 500 celebration and share in this love of art and stories. But until next time, keep looking for the beauty hidden in plain sight. It's all around you. But the first place you'll find it is when you go look in the mirror. And I'll see you next time.
In the heat of the night, we could get lost in all the lights and sounds. Ooh, feeling alright. We won't go home, we will just stay here downtown. There's not just stars on the boulevard. They're in the light in your eyes. Oh, we don't need no black cards. I just need you by my side. We could be shameless, famous, running cool, with a love that leaves us weightless. Ooh, drop dead gorgeous, wow. Ooh, you got me feeling starstruck too. We could be famous.
You want to be famous with me.
We could be famous.
Come and be famous.
You blow my mind, looking like a model, better than the usual. Yeah, you don't even try, not average or typical. I put you on a pedestal. There's not just stars on the boulevard. They're in the light in your eyes. Oh, we don't need no black cards. I just need you by